Thursday night football, it's so bad. It's not just like, oh, hey, here's a treat, here's your football finally back. No. It's a part of the week, so I can go through my work week and go in the office Tuesday, Wednesday, sit there, plug away, and then work hard on Thursday. Be like, I know I have a treat incoming on Thursday. And for this Thursday night, we have a special game. We have the Buffalo Bills heading down, playing against the Miami Dolphins. Right now, Miami's -2 with a total at 49. The Bills' week 1 performance was good. Bad? I don't know. They did end up winning the game. They didn't cover, but they won by 6 points, which is a large margin. But they started off in the gates so slow. I mean, they just kind of looked sluggish. They looked bad. And the Cardinals looked like, oh my God, this might be the best team in football. But eventually, Josh Allen started plugging away. I think they got a field goal at the end of half to make it 17-3. I could just be making this up right now. I should probably be taking diligent notes. But what do you want from me? That's just my life. Josh Allen was just Josh Allen. I think he did a whole bunch. I think he threw the ball for 2 touchdowns, ran in for 2 touchdowns. It didn't really matter. Yes, the receiving core wasn't as good as it was last year, but they still have people who can catch the football, and that's very important when we're talking about football. And at the end of the day, though, the Bills are still going to be the Bills. They're not going to be this bad team that everyone keeps thinking, because Josh Allen is Josh Allen. It's as simple as that. Miami's offense looked clunky and bad. Let's just call it how it is. You know, last year, just be like, oh my God, there's a billion yards, there's a billion yards. Yes, they had one deep shot to Tyreek Hill. I know they had another, pretty long pass of Jalen Waddle, and he was out for a little bit of the game, but then Waddle kept waddling, so that's what you want to see. But I think the run game just wasn't there. Now it was against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's a top 5 run defense in the NFL. They could be top 3. I don't really know exactly where I want to put them, because I don't know really exactly where to put them. Now, that being said, if you are a top 3 run defense in the NFL, to me, you're the top 1 run defense. You might as well just not run it against it. So maybe that's what Miami was thinking a little bit. I know they also did kind of come out of the gates very slow, so they got behind Jacksonville. They did have a come from behind win, so they won by 3. Jacksonville covered, no big deal. I decided to pick them. But that being said, I think Miami's just going to start off this game just running the ball. Hey, if we need to be some type of ruler, let's be a yardstick, because we like yards. Or they can be a dad in their mid-40s. Yes, you're having a little bit of a life crisis, but now you have a new friend who works at Home Depot, and you're like, hey, I really care about yard and lawn care. Yard is a really tough word to say at 7 a.m. So Miami opened up at -1, then immediately seemed to -2, -2.5. Now it's brought down back to -2, then went 2.5 again. Now it's back at 2, so it just keeps on tinkering, but it did start at 1.5, so we can see there was definitely some sharp play to just drive this puppy up a little bit, and that 2.5, 3 number is so key here. So we're going to be looking at that as we're putting it into the formula and deciding, hey, is this a bet or is this not a bet? So putting this into the FECA formula, so Tyreek Hill got to wear a little bit extra jewelry coming to the stadium Sunday morning. My phone starts blowing up. He was getting arrested. Now, he wasn't doing anything crazy. I don't know if they actually put handcuffs on him, but I just thought that, hey, that tagline's catchy. He was wearing extra jewelry. I would never want to wear handcuffs, because I like to have my hands free, and I want to put them in the right positions that my hand's supposed to be at all times. But this didn't really stop Tyreek Hill. I think it did kind of make Miami's offense be like, I don't know what's going on here. Obviously, that's a major distraction heading into your first game. But Tyreek Hill, of course, caught an 80-yard bomb touchdown, which, of course, helped me out, because as soon as I saw him, I'm like, this guy's going to put Scotty Scheffler. And then immediately I went to DraftKings and just auto-bet his over. It's kind of wild, how much he kept his composure during all of that, at least from my understanding. From my understanding, he was just like, okay, come on, man, don't be doing this. And then they did do it, and then it was just like, why are you doing this? For keeping his composure and also hitting my bet, more importantly, I'm going to go ahead and give a full point to the Dolphins. So right now, the Dolphins in my head are at -3. Keon Coleman, the wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills, had a decent start. He had 4 receptions. This is a carry. He had 4 receptions for 51 yards. But the reason why I personally know Keon Coleman, not personally, but the only thing I saw besides hey, this is him as a football player, was a press conference where he started talking about how great the deals were at, I believe it was J.C. Penney, or maybe Marshall. It wasn't Marshall's. It was something that when he said that name, I'm like, oh, that's a mall. Because there's still malls up north. No one's talking about how the malls are still alive. I went to Chicago over the summer, and every single store had people in it and had clothes. And the Northeast, that's just not a thing. And I think my theory is because malls, you just go to malls because there's nothing else to do, because it's so cold in the middle of Chicago. But getting back on track, Keon Coleman was in the press conference. He was talking about how great of a deal he got on a jacket and how it's cozy and warm. Now, the thing is, he's playing in Miami. Florida State, that's where he went. Incredible career at Florida State, but I think he really got attached to the jacket. I'm sure he wears a jacket all the time. I'm sure he loves a jacket, and I'm sure he wishes that he was bringing the jacket with him. But since he's gone to Miami, he doesn't need that jacket. And I think he might be a little bit sad, so I might go ahead and give another half point to the Dolphins, because Keon Coleman might not be playing to the best of his ability. He might just be sad that he's missing his jacket at home in Buffalo. Don't overthink this one. There's Dolphins in Miami. There's no Buffalo in Miami. Yeah, they're over in New York, right? You got Bills in New York, you got Buffalo. What is a Bill? Okay, I just learned something. So Buffalo Bills, that was actually named after a Wild West like showman named Buffalo Bill Cody. So how about that? But Buffalo Bill Cody's dead at this point. That being said, since there's no Buffalo in Miami and there are Dolphins in Miami, that's just a clear cut, hey, let's give a half point to this team. So it was a pretty simple formula. I think Dolphins are going to just come out of the gate. They're going to start scoring. Their defense is much better than the Cardinals. If they can just catch the Bills being sluggish at all, I think they can just go ahead and just keep running the ball and eventually just take me to a win. The total in this game is right now at 49. If it does hit to 51.5, I will be smashing the under. Simple as it's a primetime divisional matchup. Both defenses might be better than the defenses that they played before, except Miami. It's just gonna be Dolphins just has a better defense than the Cardinals. So if it does hit to 51.5, go ahead, smash the under. That's what I'm gonna be doing. So the two plays for today are Miami -2. Then if it does creep up to 51.5, go ahead and smash that under. Also for the player prop, I don't really know. Whatever A-Chain's rushing total over is, go ahead, add that to the card. Buffalo's gonna have hopefully a bad day.